Good morning, welcome to the channel. If you haven't been following along with this exciting series of renovating a 150-year-old farmhouse, then boy are you in for a surprise. Not surprise, but you're in for a blur of an episode today as we just jump around, try and get as much random things done as possible because we're running out of time in this series. The homeowners are moving in 2 weeks. They've been here almost every day trying to push along to get things moving forward. As you can see, they have done some trim. There's still a lot more trim to be done. We have painted the wainscot, which is just 1/4-inch drywall. We have primed everything. We have ripped off some wallpaper, but we've left some, as you can see up there on the ceiling. That's all left, so we're a little bit everywhere. And yeah, the first thing we're gonna do is quickly spackle a little bit of this. What happened here was we did some patchwork on top of the wallpaper, then we decided to remove the wallpaper. It was a quick decision. It came off really easily, which is good, but that's left some hard edges where I've had to mud. So behind this primer is mud, behind the mud is wallpaper, and there's a hard line here. So we're just gonna go around and quickly feather those out so they're not as hard and noticeable. Tackle this, then we'll move on to the next thing. So this is a pretty quick and easy fix. I'm just gonna use the drydex pink spackling. I could use drywall mud, but with drywall mud you have to prime it again. And with this stuff I shouldn't have to. So this is a bit of a quick fix. Yeah, we'll see if it's a good idea or not. But there's just no time to prime again, and just to make it look a bit better, I think it's going to be worth it to do this. I'm going to be able to make it look a lot nicer by this quick little thing here. Just like that, it's done. I have to do this corner as well. Same issue is that there's a ridge left by cutting out the wallpaper. This one isn't as bad. Okay, now we're on to the next thing. Okay, down here in the dining room, we got to measure up for drywall. We have to get that ordered because we are going to drywall this entire room except for the ceiling. So just the walls. Unlike the upstairs, we're not doing wainscot. Down here, we're just going to cover all this falling plaster with drywall. To measure up drywall is super easy. First, you measure your height to make sure it's under 8 feet. This is definitely going to be over 8 feet. So that might influence a little bit how I drywall it. Yeah, it's about 9 feet, which isn't bad. So what I'm gonna try and avoid is having any seams in my doorways, corners there, because they tend to crack a little easier. And then outside of that, I'm gonna run my sheets horizontally. Sometimes it varies, but just a little easier to mud horizontally. Measure the distance of my room actually. Okay, we have 8 feet to here and 8.5 feet. So that's a little crappy, but I think we're gonna make that work with one 8-foot sheet there, one 8-foot sheet here, a sliver in this corner, another 8-foot sheet here. So I'm just gonna write right on the wall, 8 foot, 8 foot, and the lower half, also 8 foot. Write it right on the wall so that way I can go back after everything's marked, calculate it in total. I'm gonna do that right now. Okay, my grand total comes to 12, and this is the amount of drywall we have. Should have enough. Now we'll move on to the next thing. For this stairwell, we already have the wainscot you can kind of see done here. So we're probably just gonna go ahead and continue that around the perimeter of the room, as well as the hallway, just cap that with some kind of chair rail. For the time being, it's actually gonna look like this though. We're just gonna use some plywood to cap this wainscot edge. It's just 1/4-inch drywall. So yeah, that's gonna be a temporary fix as we move forward into the future with the foresight of drywalling these walls. I think is what's gonna happen, but right now we just gotta protect this edge so it doesn't get damaged. I'm gonna use this plywood to do that. This should be as easy as 1, 2, 3. Oh, I always thought I could put 2 clips of nails in here. I guess not. I have to move this down to butt in against this 1/4 inch drywall here, and then I'm just gonna cap it with another 1.5 inch piece of plywood for the time being. Do that, I should be able to just pop it off. Okay, so it's gonna look like this. So if this is my 3/4 inch strip here, I can then go ahead and cap it, providing some protection right here. I'm gonna go around and just take all those off. They have to come off because they weren't set at the right height, so I'm gonna go do that, and then I'll bang it on with my nailer, and hopefully it's as easy as that. Okay, that's all ripped off. I filled the nail holes from the older stuff, filled them up with some spackling. I can go ahead and reattach that first 1/4 inch piece of plywood, which is basically just acting as a shim. It should go fairly quick too, in theory, as I have to cut my drywall a little bit. There's a piece of mud there. And because the DeWalt 18 gauge nailer has issues after you've used it for a year or 2, I have to hammer some of these nails in because it didn't quite set them. Shots fired, DeWalt. Shots fired. Or misfired, like your gun. Carry on over here. Alright, I've gone ahead and cut a couple of my next layering pieces for this makeshift chair rail. More like a drywall protector now, but this is the outside corner that I have cut here. I'm probably going to go ahead and glue that miter joint just because it's going to, why not, kind of. It's going to last a little longer and be able to resist a little bit more abuse if I just glue it, so I'll go ahead and do that. My glue is a little dry. Just gonna use my finger here, put it on that corner, and we're just gonna attach this on with one nail right now. Like this. So that's what it's going to end up looking like. I'm going to clean up a little bit, but I'm going to carry on around the perimeter of this room, and then we'll move on to the next thing. And now we're going to move over here to this square window to get it trimmed up. Okay, for this, we have it glued, and hopefully it fits, because I actually can't remember if I measured it right. So I shot 1.5 inch nails through that casing trim into my jamb, and now I'm going to switch over to 2 inch nails to go into the lath and plaster, just because I want to make sure my nail goes a little deeper and hopefully bite onto something. but that looks a lot better, so. Done. I forgot we gotta go prime that chair rail. Back in here we go. So once I'm done priming this, I can go ahead and spackle those nail holes, do a little bit of caulking, and that will do it for this room pretty much, other than the final coat of paint. I'm gonna cut this episode off here. Thanks for watching, I'll see you in the next one.